Hello and welcome back to this week's edition of Stormwatch. This week we will be focusing on election season with video projects from Scott Bowen, Chris Horton, and Joe Filio. After that, we will have a report you don't want to miss with Dan Hansen about the new Bucks Arena. We will also be checking in with Emmanuel Espino to teach you some self-defense tactics to use around campus. In addition to that, we will stop in the kitchen to see what Zelina Van has cooking. Also, be sure to stick around for an exclusive interview with the president of the Black Student Union, Kendrick Watkins. The third Republican debate was last week, and we want to see student and staff opinions about the upcoming 2016 presidential election. So we went to Scott Bowen out to take a look at the voting habits of the MATC student body.
This is Scott Bowen reporting from the MATC campus. We're going to be interviewing folks today and asking them about their voting habits, whether they're going to vote, and if not, why not. We caught up with several students in front of the Student Center and asked them our questions.
I'll be voting, for sure.
Why do you vote?
I want to play my part in, bettering society,
Why won't you vote?
Unfortunately, I won't be voting this coming elections. Reason is pretty much some matters between me and the local government.
Why do you vote?
Well, minus all the politics, I feel that it gives, just us regular people a chance, to have a say in our government and, not just talk about the change that we want, but actually, put forth the effort to be a part of that change.
Why do you vote?
I want somebody to make a difference. If I'll vote for someone who's going to make a difference in life. Not just to run over the world, just to make a difference.
Would it matter to you at all if the candidate were an MATC alumni?
Not really. I'll vote for whoever want to make change and make the world a better place.
We had a chance to catch up with Alexandria at the student government office. Why won't you vote?
Well, I don't think I'll be voting this year simply because I don't necessarily find any of the candidates, I don't find them relatable. I don't think that they stand for anything that I would like to see a change in.
This has been Scott Bowen. We now return you to your Stormwatch studios.
Thanks for that report, Scott. We now send things over to Chris Horton, who has some more information on the League of Student Voters, an organization located here at MATC.
MATC. I spoke a little bit with Pamela Carlson, the lead advisor to the student group.
They had never really thought about it because most of the people at this school don't vote. And I thought that was probably wrong. I thought they more than likely would vote if they were aware of the voting. And voting between presidential elections is not attended very well. And I don't think that has anything to do with students or anything. I think it has to do with the media and with people getting the word out to people that there is voting going on, and it's very important. We seem to think the only election that means anything is the presidential election. And of course, that's not true because our local elections affects our city, our state, our county, our schools, our parks, everything. And that really impacts our lives personally. So that's why we got started last fall. And so this is our second year.
Joshua Reed joined the League of Student Voters recently. He talked about whether or not it was hard for him to talk about his views with other students.
I think we're lucky at MATC that there's such a diverse population here. You can definitely find people from all backgrounds to talk to, and there's a lot of different views on what's happening in the world, and I think most of the people here are pretty vocal about it, so I think it's special about MATC.
The co-chair president, Mark Rice, spoke about some of the group's activities.
We're going to continue to have debate parties at MATC here on the 3rd floor. We'll have a debate watch party for the Republican presidential debate as well as the next Democratic presidential debate.
Make sure you leave enough time to get out and vote. I'm Chris Horton, Stormwatch.
Thank you, Chris, for that report. We now send you out to Joe Filio for a word about student accommodation.
Student Accommodation Services Department helps people with disabilities succeed in school. They have accommodations such as note-taking, special computers that enlarge text, and tape recorders. They have books that can be converted into audiobooks. You can also get one-on-one help, which is where Peter and Jackie come in.
This department provides accommodations for students that have various disabilities, whether it's mental health, academic disabilities, or physical disabilities. We provide accommodations so that they have access to full access to their classes, essentially. It's not additional help. It's not as or to give students an advantage. It's there so that they can access their classes on a level playing field.
My job is called a disability specialist. I prefer accommodation specialist. I think it sounds more positive. We do accommodations for all types of emotional, learning, and physical disabilities.
They have accommodations such as note-taking, special computers that enlarge text, and tape recorders. They have books that can be converted into audiobooks.
When working with a student and they finally grasp the concept that they were struggling with.
They need to be assertive. They need to know what it is they want, or if they don't know what it is they want, to come in and discuss with Kathy or perhaps us what problems it is that they're having, and what do we or what does Kathy think will help them to improve their situation. There's no use being shy and sitting back. You're not going to make it anywhere in life doing that, and part of your education for life starts here at school. So be assertive. Come in, say, I think I have this problem. Do you think there's something that I can, some assistance that I can get? And then if we need some documentation from somebody, then follow through. Make sure you follow through on what you need to do. Always ask. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Thanks, Joe. Now before we send you to Dan Hansen, here's what's happening on your MATC campuses this week. For those looking to transfer to a four-year college, there will be visits from UW-Milwaukee at the Oak Creek campus on Tuesday and Wednesday. There will also be a visit from Cardinal Stritch University and Franklin University at the Milwaukee campuses on Wednesday and Thursday. Also on Wednesday, the Mequon and West Allis campuses will hold a Native American dance demonstration for those who are interested. And on Saturday, there is an open house at the Milwaukee campus for those who might want to join the MATC family. So tell your friends. A new arena deal for the Bucks is in place, but how will it affect MATC? Stormwatcher Daniel Hansen gives us his opinion on the situation.
Who doesn't love the Milwaukee Bucks? I grew up watching the Bucks here at the Bradley Center. Since 1988, this has been the arena of the Milwaukee Bucks. But one day, the NBA was all like, hey, nice arena. Now get a new one or we'll move your team. The state was in turmoil. People were divided. Should we build a new multi-million-dollar arena or just let the team walk? After a long, peaceful discussion full of yelling and flip-flopping politicians, the arena deal finally got approved. With our new logo ready, we decided to build us a new arena, even though the Golden State Warriors have played in their arena since 1966, which is 22 years older than the Bradley Center. But whatever, who's counting? But wait, if they aren't putting the new arena here on the site of the Bradley Center, where are they going to put it? Well, you have the old U.S. Cellular Arena here. Next to it, you have the Bradley Center. Okay. Want to see where the new arena is? Bam. Right next door. Making a weird planet alignment of arenas. Milwaukee. Arenas as far as the eye can see. Guess who the silent mouse in this story is? It's MATC. I haven't been able to find one comment from MATC. They have not said anything about how this will affect traffic during rush hour or parking with the new construction. Where was the concern over the faculty or the students? Excuse me, teacher, can you repeat that for me? I couldn't hear you over the $500 million worth of construction. The only concern I found was in a news article comment section from a user saying, quote, neighbors like MATC should be concerned about the lack of parking this will cause. Well, at least somebody's concerned. Now, I'm not saying that the arena shouldn't have been passed. I'm not even blaming MATC that the arena went through. But I'm just saying that there should have been at least some sort of concern for it. I guess now, instead of fearing the deer, we'll be hearing it. For Stormwatch, I'm Daniel Hansen.
Hopefully the new arena doesn't affect MATC parking too much. Thanks, Daniel. We now send you all to Emmanuel to teach you some great self-defense tips.
College campuses aren't always safe. A national survey was done and shows that about 23% of women and 5% of men have been assaulted while being on campus. MATC student Zach Anderson is a former high school wrestler and now coaches youth wrestling. He is here to show you some defensive moves that you can use on an attacker.
Alright, I'm here to teach you how to defend yourself. So the first move I'm going to teach you is called an arm throw. So he's going to extend his arm out like that. I'm going to grab at his wrist. I'm going to shoot my leg forward here. My arm up under here like this. Turn my butt here. Turn, keep turning.
Wrist grab. Right foot step. Arm grab. Hip twist. Final slam.
Alright, so next move I'm going to show you is called a single leg. So, I'm going to have my arms up here, I'm going to pull on him, I'm going to shoot down, sweep up his leg, get it up in my armpit, I'm going to push on his knee, and he's going to fall flat.
Shoulder grab and twist. Move down and grab leg. Pull leg up to armpit. Knee twist. Final slam.
Alright, so this last move I'm going to show you is called a headlock. So, I'm going to have my hand on the back of his neck, this arm on the back of his tricep. I'm going to shoot this arm forward, lock around here, and then turn my hips. Now I'm just going to hold on to him until he passes out.
Head grab. Body twist. Final slam. So now that you have some basic knowledge on defending yourself, if you ever feel unsafe walking to class or walking to your car, you can fight off a potential attacker and make them wish they had never messed with you.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for that informative lesson. Now, after all that talking, or in case listening, I'm feeling kind of hungry. Do you know what goes good together when you're hungry? chili cheese fries, and brownies. Now, you're going to see why.
Making floating brownies and chili cheese fries. Preheat oven to 325. We're making brownies first. Blend until it's smooth. Butter the pan and make sure you cover all corners. Smooth the mix into the pan. Pan or counter to pop bubbles. Now for the chili cheese fries. Take 3 medium potatoes and cut them up until they're all done. To the potatoes you add, and then mix. Any bubbles around the surface, the grease is ready. Fries in the pan and stir to make sure they don't stick. Don't forget to check on your brownies. Put butter in the skillet and drop the onions. Add sugar, salt, and pepper for flavor. Don't forget to stir the potatoes on occasion. When onions look golden brown, add the chili. Add pepper jack cheese and American cheese until it melts. Don't forget to take out the brownies. Put the fries on a plate and just pour the chili all over it. Decorate them any way you want. Don't forget to vote.
Well, that looked very good. After you eat that, you'll need to go for a run. And while you're out, go vote, because it matters. Now we have a very special guest. Please welcome Nakia Gore. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Are you excited to be here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I've been saying all day, this is an election show, and we have a lot of cool things to ask you about the election. So, what are your thoughts on the 2016 presidential race, I guess?
As of right now, it's interesting. I like watching the debates to see where everyone stands and who's going to try to say something that they won't do. There's a couple of elections where we've seen that. And right now, I'm really looking forward to watching the debate, the Republican debate.
Okay. You probably know that the Republican debate is coming to Milwaukee.
Yes.
Are you excited for that? Thoughts on that?
Yes and no. I'm excited to hear what they're going to say. Again, I'm not Republican, so it's not one of my, oh my God, I have to watch this, but I like hearing them go back and forth and see who, if it comes down to it, if I have to vote Republican, which one would I rather vote for, you know?
Yeah. Do you know anyone going to this debate in Milwaukee?
No.
So you won't be attending?
No.
You'll
No.
just be watching at
Yeah.
home. Okay. So have you voted before?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Do you remember your first time voting and what that was like?
Yeah, it was my very first time voting. It was like you hear it on the news, go out and vote, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll go and vote. And when I did, it was long lines, so I'm like, oh, this is gonna take forever. I got up there and picked who I wanted, and afterwards, it was like really relieving. Like, oh yeah, I actually, you know, went out and voted. It felt really good to go out there and vote.
Besides like the presidential elections, do you feel it's important to vote in local elections as well?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I was about to. But I believe it's really important to vote locally too, because yes, the presidential voting is very important, but you should be really worried about what's going on in your hometown, who's in charge of your taxes and where your money is going to. If we can vote for the next president, but they're focused on a lot of other things than just our county, our town. It's really important to vote for, you know, your home.
And do you have like any close friends or I guess fellow students who maybe aren't as excited about voting or don't vote, and how is it like?
I'm not going to name drop, but yes, there's a few that are like, my vote doesn't matter, this and that, and then they're the ones complaining about, oh, I didn't want such and such to get in office because of this and that. Well, if you went out there and put your opinion out, you might not been him, you know?
Yeah, well, at least you know that you still voted.
Yeah.
Growing up, did your parents vote at all? And if so, and how was that? And if not, then how did that affect you now in your voting?
My mother votes all the time. I don't know about my father. I think he voted once, but my mom is really strong about going out there and having your voice heard. So what really promoted me to go out there and vote for the first time and to keep voting, because if you're that dedicated to at least get your voice heard, you never know the outcome, you know?
Yeah, I think that's very important because, you know, your parents influence you. So if they're not voting, then there's a good chance you might not either.
Exactly.
Or it could be vice versa. So how important is it for you to vote in this election coming up?
Pretty important. There's some people that don't plan on voting because they just assume a certain person is going to win because of their popularity, which that if you go out there and vote, you make the difference, you know? This election is really important because there's a lot of people saying things that aren't being agreed with, and everybody's outraged with a comment here and there, but they don't make their outrage heard. So it's just a matter of getting out there and doing, you know.
And have you seen any of the presidential candidates in person or speak here in Milwaukee or outside of Milwaukee?
Not in person. I try to watch all the debates as often as I can. If I'm not working, if I can YouTube some of the comments they made or find an article, I try to keep up to date with that.
Okay. And then growing up, I think, you know, I asked about the parents and voting and stuff like that. So did your mom ever talk to you about the importance of that, voting growing up and stuff like that?
No, it's more so my teachers in high school and middle school that stressed the importance about voting. My mom, she made it clear that she voted, but she believed that it's my choice alone if I'm going to vote or not. You can't pressure someone into voting, you know? It should be your option to vote, but yeah.
Okay. Are there any of the candidates that are running currently that you're like really surprised by, or whether it be their comments or just them running in general, that you're like, oh, I can't believe this person is even like running?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have, we all felt that way at some point, or at least most of us felt that way at some point about Trump. He has said a lot of off-the-wall things that made people back up, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, pretty much only him. Of course, there's a couple other people who said things you're like, really? You shouldn't have said that or this. But for him to be a celebrity, it's more so you think he'll know what he should and should not say in public, you know?
And are there any of the candidates that you are excited that they're running, or enjoy the things that they say, or agree with the things that they say?
Bernie Sanders, of course. He's really motivate, like, he is really reaching out to the younger people, and I think he has a lot of points.
Okay. All right, awesome. Well, thank you for answering all those questions and coming in. And before we leave MATC and MPTV, we've lost a good friend a few weeks ago in a tragic event. Jade Cosby will be missed. Our thoughts and prayers go to his family.